Hello guys, I'm doing a bit of a clean up here in my little office, so I'm coming across a couple of little bits and pieces that I had intended to take apart and just see what was in them, see is there any parts we can salvage. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. We're going to take a look at this old DVD reader and writer and see is there any pulleys or gears in it, motors, anything that might be of use to us. So let's get started here. It should be fairly simple to take apart, I'd imagine. The first things that are kind of obvious that we can salvage are the screws. Maybe you could repurpose the steel as well, although I'm not going to do that because I don't really have the space to be storing loads of steel and that. So we're in here fairly easy. See, it's mostly surface print stuff, which is no surprise. Being a part of a computer, it's going to be reasonably modern, although this is pretty old. This one's like probably mid-thousands, I'd say. This computer was manufactured, or well, we owned it, I think. So little ribbon cables. Pull out the ribbons. With this one could be soldered in here. So we'll just pull that off. There's another one. Just clip the little clasp forward and that should release the cable. So there's not much on the boards that we can salvage. Not much on these boards that we can salvage because they're all surface mount. I mean, those chips are all going to be probably fairly specific. You're not going to have much use for them really. The regulators is about the only thing that you might have a use for, but I mean, you're going to waste the time trying to remove them from the PCB. I wouldn't think it's worth it. There's a jumper. We can use that anyway. That's fairly simple. Connectors, probably not much use for them either. You could remove them capacitors, they are through holes, so it wouldn't be too difficult to remove, but again, it's probably not worth the hassle. So when we get in here, we have a stepper motor here with a screw drive. That'd be pretty good stepper motor, I'd imagine, for this, be fairly accurate. Little guide rails, so if you had a use for that mechanism there, that would be pretty good. And that's obviously the carriage that would carry the laser here, which would read and write to the disk. So it's probably a pretty strong laser in there. But the carriage itself, you know, that'd be a fairly good mechanism there. If we could reuse that for something, it'd be pretty good. Let's see where we go next though. Looks like maybe over here. I think I'll have to open the disk tray first, and most of you probably know there's a little hole on a disk tray that lets you access the catch. You just need something long enough to go down and push the catch open. Okay, hopefully this bit of wire will do it for us. There we go. We are in, and I don't know if that has helped us. Thought it would get the front panel off. I just needed a little bit more force with the tab on the side there. That should let us get out of frame, I think. Okay, so it's out of the frame now. We should be able to get in here. This will be the motor that operates the door. Okay, there's a pulley. Yeah, let's take this pulley off first. So there we have a little motor there with a pulley on it already, and that'll be just a DC motor, probably 12 volt motor I would imagine, though I don't see it written on it, but I'd be fairly certain that's 12 volt motor. Just solder off those parts. Has the little pulley on it, little switch there and little LED. Don't know if it's worth salvaging those parts, but they should be pretty easy to get off. They're through hole. If you have a solder sucker, just get those few tabs and it should just fall out. How can we get rid of this tray? All you had to do to get the tray out was just pull this little tab that's up here in the corner, and that allowed it to slide straight out. And now we can see our little mechanism that opens and closes the tray. Looks like I damaged it pulling it there a little while ago. Or did I? Maybe that's not broken. Oh, it's not. It's just the way it is. Little tabs to hold it on. So there's a little pulley with a gear. You could possibly use that for something. Let me get this one out. Oh, maybe I need to take out this whole thing first. That's pretty much it, just a few gears. Don't think that one there is much use to us, or anything else in the frame really. But you can get a few ideas. I mean, maybe you could 3D print something like that if you had a similar mechanism to make, or something similar to this. The last piece to look at then is just the little trolley piece. Can we take off this motor? I'd say it's just another DC motor, I would guess, but it could be a stepper motor. Possibly this is a stepper motor. You can see all the little coils in there. It's very hard to tell though, and it looks to be mounted to this little steel plate, so I don't really see there being much point in holding on to that motor. I doubt it'd be much use to us really. But most of this little mechanism's alright. I mean, even these little rubber mounting points, if you were 3D printing something and you needed a little rubber bushing, just to get rid of noise and vibration if you have a motor running, that could be handy little things there. Let's I don't really intend to use the trolley, so let's just take it apart. That little stepper motor would be fine. You could easily solder to the points on this, well, just on the motor itself. That would be a grand little stepper motor, I think, with a nice little screw mechanism. You held on to this piece. Maybe you could hook it into some 3D printed design maybe. There's a lot of things you can do now with your 3D printer just by reusing some of these parts. Here's the little trolley now that carries the laser, and you can see there how smooth it runs on this little bar, and that's because there's some little slide bearings in there, or maybe they're just bushings, but it's a lovely little motion there. There's no resistance, it's just perfectly smooth. So if you had a use for that in some other little design, you'd have no problem at all mounting a bar like that into your 3D printer or 3D printed design. Well, here's a closer look at the little carriage that's kind of carrying the lasers. See, it's pretty complex. I think this is a laser here, and quite possibly this is a laser as well. I'm not sure, but you can see there's lots of little pieces to focus the light in. So there's like some sort of little reflection part there. All seems to meet in this little cube that I presume directs the light, and it all ends up coming out through this lens here on the bottom. There's obviously a magnet in there. There's another little LED. Well, it looks like an LED. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some sort of sensor that, like an IR detector, only maybe it's got a different frequency range to pick up the laser frequency, so I'm not 100% sure there. But you can see it is quite a complex little little design, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing on there that's going to be of any use to us. Maybe the shims in here, or maybe you could use the carriage, but other than that I don't think anything. Well, actually the magnets that are in here, they'd probably be useful for something. So maybe take it apart another little bit, see what's in it. Here's the pieces that were in the little carriage there. Not too surprising. We have what looks like little filters, little spring, few screws, these magnets. They're pretty strong little magnets, so they seem quite good. More little lenses, nothing too surprising and nothing that's hugely useful to us really. Okay, we'll do a little do not try this at home experiment here. Why I say it's a do not try it at home, I have the laser here from the writer, so if the laser was to hit you in the eye, if you accidentally got even a reflection, it could damage your eye, so you don't want to be trying this at home really. I'm going to do this looking through the camera, so I won't be looking directly at the laser, so, and even then it's still not hugely safe. But anyway, I am going to put a black spot on the paper here. Who knows why I'm doing this? Can you guess? It's because the black spot is going to absorb the energy faster than the white paper would. The white paper would just reflect it. And since we don't have a hugely powerful laser, we need to give it a little bit of colour, well, to get it done in any sort of reasonable time. So this could be difficult to do from the camera. Where is that? Okay, so right about there. Yep. And you see we get the smoke from our thing pretty quickly. We didn't really burn through it. Let's go again. So you see there, very quickly burnt into the bit of paper. So our laser is quite powerful, and that's why you need to be very careful, and you really shouldn't be playing around with them if you're dismantling these type of things at home. Okay, so we've got to the end of dismantling our DVD writer here, and we have quite a big pile of stuff to throw away. It's not much use for us, and we have a little pile of things here that might be of use. So DC motor is probably, oh wait, that one's actually, oh yeah, that's a DC motor, proper one. Yeah, that'll do. I was thinking the stepper motor here. No, that should be fine. That stepper motor should be fine as well with the little drive mechanism. A few gears, might use them, little pulley. Plenty of little screws and other little bits and pieces. Threw in the little pieces of the laser mechanism there, but I'm unlikely to actually use them. And the little magnets are in there. So was it worth taking this apart, looking for parts? Probably not really. There's not much in it. You'd want to just be interested in seeing what's in it to be doing this. I mean, you could buy a bunch of gears for like $1, or I'm sure you could buy these little rubber mounts, and pretty much everything you see there you could buy pretty cheap on eBay, I'm fairly certain, because they would have been made in huge quantities for DVD drives and things like that. So the parts are out there, and they're usually pretty easily accessible on websites like eBay. So financially I doubt you really save anything, but if you're interested in seeing how the DVD player works, it's definitely interesting. I enjoyed taking it apart and seeing how the engineers who designed it designed all the little mechanisms to work together, and the way they thought was the best ways to do things. So from a financial perspective, I don't think you really gain anything by trying to salvage parts from this. There's not really that much in it, or that much usable parts in it. But just from a point of view of something that we're interested in, seeing how things work and seeing how other engineers designed mechanisms to work together, that kind of thing is useful for when you're designing your own 3D printed parts or your own PCBs or whatever you happen to be working on. Sometimes seeing how other engineers done things can be very inspirational. So if you liked that video, make sure and hit the thumbs up. I have a couple more little things here that I have that I'm probably going to do little videos of dismantling before I throw them out. But if you liked it, make sure and hit the thumbs up, and if you have any comments or suggestions, let me know below the video. And that's pretty much it, so thanks for watching.